didn't he like pay a bunch of people to just just have fun in the office and like, you know, drink and do drugs and do
Make
whatever.
it look like
Just have like, oh, it's a fun time. It's more like we don't work, not we work.
All right, that was the podcast. Let's wrap. That was. Welcome to the Real Estate Rundown. Today we're going to talk about commercial real estate and will the downturn impact the residential housing market? Thanks for joining in.
Pretty so who do we got that's massive here in this commercial space that had a lot of issues, right? And I think now they've kind of, I don't want to say that they've stabilized, but they certainly they're holding locations. They still have 700 locations. So
I feel like
who are we talking
Who are we
about?
talking
Seinfeld. Newman. Newman.
But this is not David.
We got this like dun 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 coming.
This is Adam Newman, the founder
so we were talking
of WeWork.
WeWork, yeah. So WeWork, right? This is one of the things I found funny is, really, I guess just that in the exit that he took, right, which Masayoshi, right, which I think that's kind of
Masayoshi-san.
Yeah, we got to lay the groundwork for some of this because these guys went from like they blew up so fast. Like I don't know. I mean, we all obviously everybody's lived through that era, and they went from nothing to like almost hearing their name every other sentence for a couple of years. It seemed like overnight.
Because the dude gave them billions of dollars. I remember. Did you guys watch the movie?
Yeah, we watched it. It was fascinating.
Yeah, they're all in the car, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll give you the billion." He's like, "Oh, sweet," and then he started spending billions of dollars.
Masayoshi-san he's SoftBank for those that are watching and listening. So SoftBank invested billions into WeWork. And what do we know about WeWork today? Didn't they just file BK?
Yeah. Like at 2:00 in the morning, I got a notification from CNBC. It was WeWork.
Is that fake news?
Files bankruptcy.
No, they like legit filed BK.
BK, Chapter 11.
Yeah, reorganizations, cut off the debt so they can figure out their payment plans for.
Was Chapter 11 reorg?
I think Chapter 11 is a reorg. 7 is you're not paying anybody back.
Gotcha.
So what happened to SoftBank stock today? Did that impact them?
Oh, I had to have, right? I haven't looked.
I didn't look at SoftBank.
But, and for context of listeners, right, not everybody's ingrained in this as much as we are. Who's SoftBank and why are they so darn important that we keep mentioning them too?
SoftBank is a big organization that invests in massive technology that's going to change in the future. So they're looking for stuff that they can just take an industry and just change it, you know. So
where does their money come? Where's their money come from?
They invested in Opendoor.
Yep, Opendoor.
Well, I don't know. Why don't you
primarily
tell us, Elliot?
Where does that, tell us.
Well, like I'm just saying, it's a lot of it's like Japanese, right? Like that's ultimately where I'm getting from, right? Is it's foreign currency that's being invested into America. I mean, not solely America, because they do everything all over the world. But I was just going to say there's a lot of foreign ducats coming in, investing in a lot of these technology companies.
There always has been.
I know, but I just feel like they're more. I feel like they're more prevalent than in the past. That's just my humble opinion.
Hey, it's all fiat. Who cares where it comes from at this point? So.
Here comes the
one world, right? One world currency.
All right. Well, okay. So Adam Newman, I believe the dude had a God complex. Like he thought he was God. He thinks he is God.
And seems to be. Yeah.
And he convinces others of this as well, clearly with what he's achieved. And then also starting his new company and raising $1 billion for that. But the question that I have for everybody is, how much did the pandemic impact WeWork? Because WeWork was on a good trajectory. Perhaps they were a unicorn and a bit inflated in their valuations.
$47 billion at its height.
However, had the pandemic never happened, would they be in this position?
Maybe not, because a lot of people starting to work from home, right? And so will this bankruptcy and the commercial meltdown, will it affect real estate, residential real estate? I don't know. I mean, there's still a lot of people working from home, right?
Hey, if you're getting value from this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel. 80% of our watchers are not subscribed, so hit that subscribe button. There are. I think it could impact real estate in a positive way, residential real estate in a positive way, because they're turning some of this office space into residential, especially in like New York and back east. So
you can sleep in your cubicle?
No, they're actually converting the space to residential. So it's not like come in and the office looks like the office. No, they're renovating entire floors of buildings into residential.
Live on one floor, work on another.
Yeah, and then don't they have like at the bottom?
Shop
like
even floors are residential,
odd
floors are business.
Exactly.
Aren't they calling those the 15-minute cities?
Yes.
I have no idea. Is that what they're calling them?
Well, yeah. If you haven't heard that term, we won't go down that rabbit.
There's a lot of those buildings that we talked about a couple podcasts ago from, like Evergarden or Evergrande Country Garden, right? Okay, there we go. I knew my wires were crossed somewhat. But there's a lot of those business blueprint or building blueprints, right, where they were going to put like literally whole floor shopping in these skyscrapers that they were building, where it's residences, and then also some of the work. So I want to go back to what you were saying, Kayla, because I think that's super prevalent that we went by quickly is, would they have been successful if the pandemic didn't happen? And I actually think that they very well could have been, because the whole live, work, play thing boomed. And I think it would have continued to boom. However, COVID put some of that toothpaste out of the bottle that you just can't get back in, right? Meaning that remote login, proving that some of it could be a very effective, right, where they're not having to have as much office space, et cetera, right? So it helped a lot of massive corporations potentially cut out a ton of overhead. So I don't know. That's my quick.
WeWork was it was a lot of smoke and mirrors too, because I think there was a lot of, didn't you like pay a bunch of people to just have fun in the office and drink and do drugs and do
make
whatever.
It look like
just have it's a fun time. It's more like we don't work, not we work.
All right, that was the podcast. Let's wrap. That was we don't work. Oh my goodness, Jason.
That was good.
That was good. Props. Yeah. So WeWork going BK. SoftBank's stock doesn't seem to be moving much today. So
I'll do the market minute before you guys get into that, because we can talk about talking about stock. We have Remax went down like 10% today. Morgan Stanley. Well, did I lose it? I think I lost it. Morgan Stanley basically came in and downgraded their stock.
Ooh. Wow. Remax?
Yeah, from an overweight to an underweight. And had a $9.50. Well, they used to have a $19 and something cents target, and now now they dropped it down to $9.50. And Remax stock went down 10% today.
Ooh, yikes.
My goodness, that's a pretty dramatic hit.
They were talking about the lawsuits, and that's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, even though they have the Missouri settlement that occurred, obviously there's a lot of big boy lawsuits that are looming.
Oh,
it doesn't remove them, right?
Remax settled. Well, so Remax, when they settled with Sitzer Burnett, they also settled with Merle.
Okay.
VNAR. And I don't believe they can be included in Gibson VNAR because they settled. So, yeah, it did protect them. In fact, Rob Hahn.
That might have been a smart play.
Yeah, well, Rob Hahn said Remax and Anywhere were the smartest players because they settled, and it shields them from future liability.
Yep.
And so all of these other brokers that now could be closing down to avoid getting drug into a class action lawsuit are one of the safest places to go if you're a broker now is Remax or Anywhere.
Well, so do you think their stock's going to continue to go down, or do you think that was the hit and then it can be corrected and go up from there?
Is it should we now greenlight them and buy and ride the wave back up?
What are your thoughts on that, Jay?
Well, so Morgan Stanley thinks the ruling could increase the risk of further litigation and expensive settlements. The bank downgraded Remax to underweight from equal weight and slashed its price target to $9 per share from $19.50.
Wow.
So the new forecast implies downside of 16%. I don't
over
know.
50% hit.
Obviously, they're going to get. I mean, there's going to be more lawsuits, and
if I were going to invest in a real estate stock right now, it would not be in a brokerage stock.
No. Fair.
No way. I mean,
no, it'd be like something like an open door, right?
Mm-hmm. So, guys, want to hear a conspiracy theory that I have?
Yes.
Okay.
Love conspiracy theories.
All right.
A lot of times there's facts.
I know. I was going to say that too.
The
Halloween
theory
just passed,
doesn't mean it's fake.
It's
So-
conspiracy. It's real.
I'm going to ask Colby to throw this insert up on the screen so you can see what I'm referring to. But what I have in front of me is a chart about investing in real estate technology and its increase over the years. So going back to 2013, we had about 519 million invested in real estate technology. 2014, we had about 1.2 million. 2016, we had about 2. Well, you go to, 2016, this is in 100 millions. You go to 2017 and it upticks to 340,000 million invested. And then when you get to 2018, we have almost $4 billion invested in real estate technology. That was in 2018. Guys, what happened? What happened in 2019? After $400 billion pours into real estate technology, now all of a sudden we have 2 class action lawsuits filed in the end of 2019.
When it goes from hundreds of millions to hundreds of billions.
Someone's like, hey, there's some good money flowing out there. Time to put our hands out.
Well, now it's finally time.
Or they are the ones.
Right. Exactly. They're following the cheddar.
So was all of the venture capital that poured into real estate technology behind
These lawsuits,
class action lawsuits that are now winning?
Get some of their money back.
Yes.
Recoup some of their investment.
Some of their money back. It's about market share. Right, because if they wipe out those people and now they control the market share, you know, let's, like we talked about last time, the 4 million the fall in 4 million transactions still represents almost $2 trillion. It represents so much control in our country. Period.
What do you think, Keith?
Well,
Is that compelling?
yes, and here's why. You know, and unfortunately, unless you're a part of maybe that money flow, this is speculation, but this wouldn't surprise me. We all know at the end of the day, as the little people, that the stock market is highly manipulated. And there's not shit we can do about it, unfortunately. And the people who get fined, those are the little people too, and they get the slap on the wrist. Those aren't the people behind the scenes really manipulating it. So what better way in the real estate world, you know, hey, let's recoup some of our losses. Let's recoup some of our investment. What's the best way to do it? File some lawsuits, and then that money flows back in right where it came from.
I agree. I think it's happening. That's exactly what's happening.
That's manipulation. And
manipulation.
when you have that kind of money, unfortunately, it seems like the foundation of this world of corruption, that's what it's built on. And, you know, will it change in the future? Who knows?
And it's pretty hard to prove. You can't prove it. But, you know, there's things behind the curtain that's happening that no one ever sees, you know? So
Exactly.
The judges and attorneys talking and investors with the big money they're all in the ballroom talking about how they're gonna take over the world, right? They're gonna let's invest in all these hundreds of millions of dollars into this company, and then let's go over here and let's take down NAR. And so then when NAR is gone and all the realtors are going like that, and then the money, these big technology companies are gonna grow and make
manipulation of markets,
take the market share. And there we go.
It's just another form of politics. That's why you see these photos of left people and right people, and then that private party's all hugging and shaking hands and drinking together. It's all bullshit. So
reminds me of that movie Eyes Wide Shut.
But how can we get in that room, guys? Let's go.
I would do
We're
some
moving to
good.
Washington D.C. right
I
now.
would do some good if I had some power.
Well,
I don't
Rest
know, 'cause I
assured.
think people just they get sucked into it, man. There's just no way to. I mean, if you're good, then you're not in the club.
I disagree. I believe in humanity. I really do.
yeah, that's called the white hats and the black hats. That's a whole nother conspiracy.
The people with the money, the big money, they're the ones who that's the president of the United States. It's not the president. It's
BlackRock.
the
Yeah,
Black.
of
It's the
course.
BlackRock.
Blackstone.
It's the big conglomerates. They're the ones who
They're the ones who control the elections.
Control the company, the country.
Well, clearly we believe that there's some conspiracies happening here, but truly with the commission lawsuit, one thing that I will share is I met with a group of agents yesterday and talked through kind of what happened, some potential outcomes that we could see, how they can prepare themselves for the future. And one of the questions posed was, who is behind these lawsuits? Yeah. Like who funded them, and I have tried to research and find some more information on that and have returned very little. So if you have anything to add to the conversation, please comment below or reach out to us and let us know. We would love to kind of dive deeper into that.
Yeah, how do these really come about?
Yeah, give us the juice.
How do these attorneys go like, oh, let's create this big lawsuit?
Mm-hmm. So, all right, here with the Viral Vibes today, we're going to talk about housing affordability because it is going viral. Because it is not affordable at all.
This is like viral because it's the opposite of viral.
It seems like every news organization is picking up on this and repurposing this. And I think it's just, it's a testament to where we're at today and how many people that aren't homeowners are really feeling like they missed the window of opportunity and that they're never going to be able to buy a home. So housing affordability hits a 39-year low. And what we know is that you have to go back into the 80s when rates were insane. I think rates hit 18% in the 80s. And housing now is less affordable than it was then. So kind of sad. What that means for people is that we need movement somehow. We either need rates to go down or we need home prices to go down. The experts are saying home prices likely won't go down significantly because 7 out of 10 U.S. mortgage holders are locked into an interest rate of 4% or less. And the people that are moving are the people that have to move, which are fewer. So, which is why we're seeing less listings on the market. We're seeing lower inventory on the market and fewer people turning. So it's kind of, it's a sad state for the people that want to buy but can't because interest rates have priced them out. What I hope is that we're going to see more down payment assistance. Maybe we're going to see more exploration into seller financing, maybe taking over seller terms, maybe assuming loans that are locked in at a lower rate. So there are ways that you can make a move. If you're listening today and you're feeling discouraged, don't reach out to your local expert. If you don't have a local expert, reach out to us. We work with many wonderful realtors across the U.S. and can refer you to somebody. But there is hope. There is a way. And if you think that long-term real estate is a good investment, get in now. Over time, it has proven to be one of the safest, most secure assets. And oh, guess what? You can live in it. So unlike a stock certificate, you can't live in that. You can live in your home and build that appreciation over time.
No, you can, use it for something else. A stock certificate you can wipe your backside.
Depending on the company.
Oh, that's funny.
Provides you a little bit of shelter in a rainstorm.
Yes. You up, I'm up.
Yeah, I'll go. So in today's advice, I actually want to give you guys something a little bit different. Last couple of weeks, we've talked about, some actual strategies on how we could acquire new clients and actual different workflows to be able to kind of scale up your unique value proposition. Today, we want to go just kind of hyper local. What is it that you're going to say to your particular prospect to actually get them into transaction now? We all know that right now so many agents are struggling to do deals and they're struggling to start conversations. So first of all, I want to give you just a good old strategy. This is going to be a way to talk to a canceled, somebody that had their house on the market that just canceled, or their home just expired, and even a version of this I can give you that can actually potentially work for a FSBO. So here's a simple script for you. So phone rings. Hey, Jason.
What's up, Elliot?
Hey, this is Elliot, and hey, I'm actually giving you a quick call because I see your house on Main Street. It didn't sell, and the reason for the call is I wanted to know if you were interested in learning about my Cash Plus home selling program. It gives you the opportunity to sell your house for cash, lets you pick your close date, improve the property, then that buyer actually goes and resells that property and gives you the difference if it sells for more. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, you mean I could flip my own home?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
But it also eliminates so many problems for you and your family, such as gives you that cash now, lets you pick your close date.
That's
pretty cool,
amazing.
Right?
Yeah, I would love to do that because I don't want to have to deal with all the showings and getting my house ready for sale. Ugh, with all the things I have to do every day. Take my daughter to school and to soccer practice and pick up the dog in the backyard and like dishes. And then my teenager comes with all his friends and they like, spill chocolate milk on the floor and like it's a pain in the ass.
Jay's like giving us a little piece of his life right now. It's probably a legit story.
So, but I'm gonna actually defend Kyan and his friends. So like legit, like there are literally always like 10 guys at our house, but they're not messy though.
No, they're not.
Kyan's room.
His room probably is.
Let's play off that. I didn't know you were going to give me that in response, but let's play off that real quick for the audience. The reality of what you just heard is people live in their homes, and sometimes giving them that certainty and convenience when the house just didn't sell and you could come in and solve a problem for them to get them top dollar and also get them to their next place in a time frame that makes sense for them, you're solving problems. And at the end of the day, when there's less transactions, are you going to potentially have to make more phone calls to find that person? Yes. But if you want to stay in the business and you want to close some deals, here's a pathway for you to do it. Now it's up to you to get into action and do it.
I love it.
Well, hey, you know what? Thanks, Jay, but he's being a little bit too nice and easy on you. And I'll give real reality of what typically happens. Well, what's my offer? Why didn't you sell? Why didn't you contact me when I had it for sale?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. But
what's my offer? How much am I going to get?
Hey, real quick, I understand that it wasn't the best experience.
What about these fees?
Wow.
These fees are high.
He didn't even say fees. No.
Can I handle the... Wait, hold on. Wait, how many people we got on the phone here?
All of us.
Okay, cool.
Everyone is on the phone.
I'm happy to talk to all of you at one time. Just give me a moment to answer your questions quickly.
No, but what I said, though, is legit. That's what a lot of times what happens.
And since Keith brought that up, this is where you actually have to disarm him. I love that he brought that up. Here's how you would handle that one. Hey, I understand where you're coming from, and it maybe wasn't the best experience that you had before. However, what I'd like to do is do a quick walk through your property so I could go to bat for you and get you the highest initial price possible for you and your family. While I got you real quick, what's a number that's going to make sense for you and your family so that we could get you to that next place?
That's good, Elliot.
$1 million.
$1 million.
I want 30% over market value.
All right. Well, I guess I'm up next. So we have the deal of the week. I'm not going to say the acronym this week. We'll just change it up every week.
The Dow.
Okay, there we go.
Jay dropped it.
Okay. Thank you, Jason.
So shout out to our veterans. Veterans Day is coming up this Friday.
Yes,
and I got a
Day.
couple little cool, real short stories to tell. For a couple transactions that are in process where I happen to know there are a couple veterans involved. So if you happen to be a veteran yourself, happy Veterans Day, or if you work with any veterans in the future, please take care of them because they might fit some circumstances that we're experiencing right now. So one of them decided to take the cash plus offer, even though there were some unique circumstances based on his mortgage balance. He is purchasing a brand new property, so all of his closing costs and no down payment. So he's able to roll in some of the money into the current deal on the cash plus to make the numbers work. So sometimes when people have to come with a couple $1,000s to the table at closing, majority of the time that does not make the deal work. Of course, we tried to work the numbers as best as possible for it to make sense for everybody. So why would somebody take the offer if they have to come to the table with money? Well, per the agent, I guess he has really bad, is it PTSD?
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD. Thank you. Sometimes I forget the exact. Yep. And just straight up does not want anybody in the house, does not want to show the house, said that kind of has panic attacks very easily, gets triggered very easily. And we do hear those stories, right? We don't know what that individual went through in order for that to still stick with his life. And so I think that's kind of, it's a cool story to tell because now he's able to close, free up that VA loan to streamline the process, get into his new build, house will be vacant, sell for, majority of the time, top dollar based because it's going to be put back on the open market. And then, based on that final sales price, he'll actually then put money in his pocket, and it'll just be a nice win-win for everybody. So I thought that was kind of a cool little story, you know, to help an individual get through some of those personal struggles about what's reality for him, putting a house on the market and dealing with that whole process.
It's a real thing. PTSD is a real thing. Yes. And I think, you know, it probably does affect people when they're, you know, you have other people walking through their house and they feel like, you know, the security is not there. Right. And so I get it.
Yep. And then another one happens to be a veteran, lives kind of in a rural area outside of a big metropolitan area in Texas. And so, of course, right, the buying pool alone, because of the acreage, from a cash offer perspective, you're probably not very many options out there. So this individual decided to take the cash plus. They've lived in there for quite a bit of while, didn't really do too much updates, so kind of needs a little bit of nip and tuck to kind of get it to the or get the property to where it's going to be a lot more desirable. So they did decide to go ahead and invest a portion of their available equity to update the property, which is going to be done after they move out. And so again, the house is very cluttered, would not show well whatsoever in a traditional scenario. And so I'm bringing that up because I know the agent was like, hey, this is a really cool lady. She's a veteran. She's a sweetheart. And, you know, and I really want to try to make this work. And so, you know, we went back and forth several times in the transaction, you know, with the buyer on what her needs were. And it was really cool to make something like that work. So I just thought it was kind of cool. We have several transactions going with veterans, and here we are in November, and it's about to hit Veterans Day.
That's right. So. Yeah, that's cool. It's a good deal of the week.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Well,
it's a double deal of the week. It's a DDOW.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, veterans. We appreciate you.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in. Hey, if you'd like to add to the conversation, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you get updated of new episodes.